Hi, my name is Chris Polinsky, and today I'm here to talk to you about ceramics. Have you ever taken a ceramics class or have seen someone making pottery or playing with clay and have wondered what that is or been curious about the process? Well, today I'm here to talk to you about that. I'm here to tell you what ceramics is, what the process of ceramics looks like, and the applications and use afterwards. What is ceramics? Ceramics is a very simple and sustainable material. It is clay and dirt from the earth that has been found, refined, and used to make various products such as bowls, plates, and so forth. It's a very old material, as I mentioned, and dates as far back as 11,000 to 12,000 years ago, starting with the Jomon period in Japan. Jomon stands for coil making, which back then they would roll coils out and pinch their pots to create their vessels. So it's a very old and very traditional art form as well as practical form for making everyday objects. Next is the ceramics process and what that is. There are three main factors or stages in the ceramic process. There is the greenware stage, next is the bisqueware stage, and lastly is the fired and finished glazed piece stage. In the beginning, the greenware stage, you start with your wet clay, whether rolling out coils and pinching a piece or throwing on a ceramic wheel, which I'm sure you have seen before. This, you then create your form, your product, your vessel, and allow it to dry and all the moisture to come out of it. That's where the second stage comes in. Once the piece is dried, it can then be fired in a kiln up to 1,800 degrees, and we call this the bisqueware stage. This allows the piece to be sturdy enough and hard enough to then add glaze while still being somewhat porous to absorb it. We can then put glaze on that has various elements in them, such as iron or copper, and allows us to get certain colors and effects on our glazes. And that brings us to the third and final stage, the glazed and finished piece. So once a piece has been dried out and it's been bisquewared, we can then glaze it and add it to a second firing, which is fired up to 2,200 to 2,400 degrees Fahrenheit. And this allows us to get several different effects on our glazed pieces, whether that's firing with wood as our primary source, which they did thousands of years ago as they didn't have electricity. We can fire with gas as a means of common everyday use now. And we have other means of adding in elements such as soda or salt to get certain reactions in the kiln and get beautiful pieces that come out. So those are the three main stages in ceramic process. A glazed and finished piece, might I add, would look something like this. And this is a cup that I have made using a traditional Chinese, Japanese glaze called Temmaku, which is fitted to the actual cup, bowl, or piece and comes out firing a nice black color, but breaks brown on the edges, leaving a nice two-tone. And I have another example here on a bowl where you can see still a nice solid glaze color with nice brown accents. After we've learned what ceramics is and what that process is, we can then begin to think about the applications and use afterwards. The first application would be production use. If you're someone who has now learned what ceramics and the process is, you can then produce products to sell, give to people, and use in everyday life. That can be seen in multiple stores such as Walmart and Target nowadays, as well as individuals who purely make product on their own and sell it at craft markets. Next is commercial use. There is a company here in Phoenix called Mission Clay, and they produce large-scale ceramic clay pipes for underground construction use, whether that's gas, sewer pipes, water, etc. It's actually pretty interesting knowing that clay is a sustainable material and can't damage the earth, and so to use something like that in an everyday situation is interesting. And lastly, and my personal favorite and what I am pursuing, is an education in ceramics. I am pursuing a Bachelor of Fine Arts with an emphasis in ceramics, and hope to continue my education and teach others on the process of ceramics, what that is, and again, applications in use in everyday life. The sources I used for my information today came from, first, World Ceramics, an Illustrated History edited by Robert J. Charleston, which is this book here. My second source was the New Ceramics Firing Kilns, written by Benedict Brearley, which is right here. And lastly, my final source was the website of missionclay.com, where their mission statement was to produce quality grade ceramic clay pipes for industrial underground construction. I hope you enjoyed my presentation and learned a little bit of something of what ceramics is, the process, and how we can use it in everyday life today. Thank you.